Good morning, everyone. I hope everything is safe around you. As I mentioned in our last class that I would take only this week as a revision week, and whatever all the chapters that are done so far in the classes, we will select few and then we will revise them. So here you see I mentioned the covered material, like the covered material that is done in February and March. That is from chapter 24 to 28. It is done in the classes, and you will find them on pages 744 to 796. But today, in last class, I think we revised the chapter 24 and 25. In today's class, we will revise chapters 26 and chapter 27, and the both you will find in unit 6, an age of democracy and progress, and the age of imperialism. Okay, so here we go. The lesson, as you know that I can't collect each and everything, but the most important thing I have tried to collect on these slides. So, but these are not the only things. You have to see your books as well. So the first lesson I picked up was is democratic reform and activism. Okay, so in this lesson you have learned about the revolutions in Europe and also analyzed the outcome of these revolutions. Few of the terms we will revise, and this will help you to understand the topic more. So first term was we covered in the lesson was suffrage. So what was suffrage? Suffrage basically means right to the vote. And if you remember, in Europe there was some revolutions and the parliament passed a law, and that law gave suffrage, the right to vote to many in the middle class. Then there was a movement called Chartist movement. That was also a movement that began in England to give the right to vote to more people and to obtain others' right. Then Queen Victoria. Here, Queen Victoria, she was the leader of Britain when democratic changes were occurring. Okay, then we have Third Republic. I don't know why I lose my cursor every time. Third Republic. Third Republic was a government that was formed like after the Napoleon III was exiled. This government, Third Republic, was formed in France. And then we have Dreyfus affairs. Okay, Dreyfus is the name of a person, Dreyfus, right? And what was Dreyfus affair? Basically, Dreyfus, if you remember, Dreyfus was accused of being a traitor. Why? The charge was made mainly because he was a Jew. So many people believe that the charge was true. Dreyfus was found guilty, and the issue became known as the Dreyfus affair. Okay, so because people thought that he was a Jew, so that matter was known as Dreyfus affair. Then we have another term, anti-Semitism. Here, anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism means prejudice against Jews. This term means becoming prejudice against Jews. And then we have Zionism. Zionism was also a movement, and that established a separate homeland in Palestine for the Jews. Next lesson is self-rule for British colonies. In this lesson, you read about the fight for self-rule in British colonies, and like what were the causes and effects of significant events in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland. You have read all these in detail. Few terms like dominion. What is dominion? Dominion is here in this lesson. Dominion means nation in the British Empire that allowed to govern its own domestic affairs. Then we have Aborigines. Aborigines, they were the native people of Australia. Then we have penal colony. Penal colony, it was a place where convicts mean the criminals, they were sent to serve their sentence as an alternative to prison. It means that for their crime they were used to send to these places, penal colony, instead of sending them to prison. Then we have home rule. Home rule means local control over domestic affairs. At the end we have Irish Republican Army. It was a military force. It was an unofficial military force that was seeking independence. Then we have lesson War and Expansion in the United States. In this lesson you have read about the changes in the United States during the same time period, and have discussed the major events in the United States in the 19th century. So few of the most important terms I mentioned here are manifest destiny. What is manifest destiny? It was a belief that the United States would rule the land from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. Then we have Abraham Lincoln. It's the name of our 16th president of the United States. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president. Then we have another term, secede. Secede. Okay, secede means to leave a nation. Then we have U.S. Civil War. It's a war that was fought between the North and South from 1861 to 1865. And then we have Emancipation Proclamation. Proclamation means a public or official announcement. So in 1863 there was an announcement, what? To free the slaves in the Confederate States. Then we use another term in this lesson, that was segregation. Segregation means separation by race. Next lesson is about 19th century progress. So in this lesson you have learned about the progress in science and other fields, and have also discussed the famous inventors and scientists innovated and developed. Okay, so the few terms like telegraph. Telegraph is just like today we have WhatsApp, SMS and all that. So in those times, telegraph means a machine that sent messages instantly over wires. Then another term is assembly line. Assembly line, it's an arrangement by which a product in a factory is moved from worker to worker, with each worker completing a single step in the task. Then Charles Darwin, very famous. Charles Darwin, he was a scientist who developed the theory of evolution. And what was the theory of evolution? That theory that all life on earth developed from simpler forms of life. Then we have another term, that is radioactivity. Radioactivity, it's a form of energy released as atoms decay. Psychology, study of the mind, and mass culture, art and entertainment appealing to the large audience. Next we have is British imperialism in India. And if you remember, I have explained you the term imperialism, that what is the meaning of imperialism. Remember, imperialism means the strong nations are controlling the powerful nations were controlling the weak nations. This was a term, imperialism. So now we are reading the British imperialism in India. In this lesson you have read about the causes and effects of British imperialism in India, and how did Britishers control India. You have also learned. Okay, so the main term I picked up is sepoy. Who was sepoy? It was Indian soldier, and who was under British command. It was Indian, but it was under the command of Britishers. Okay, then jewel in the crown. This term was used for India because they considered this land the most valuable of all British colonies. Then we have Sepoy Mutiny. Sepoy Mutiny, it was a uprising of Indian soldiers against the British, like a rebellion against British. And then Raj, this term it is a British rule over India. This term is used for the British rule over India from 1757 to 1947. Then we have imperialism in Southeast Asia. So in this lesson you have learned about and you have read about imperialism in Southeast Asia, and has also discussed about the colonization of Southeast Asia. So here I picked up Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is a mainland. It's a Southeast Asian mainland, an island along the rim of Pacific Ocean. And then there is a name of a king, King Mohangat. King Mohangat. This king helped Siam modernize. Now we have Europeans claim Muslim lands. You will find each and everything in detail in your books, and we are just picking up few things to revise, but the rest you will do at home. So European claims Muslim lands. In this lesson you have learnt about the imperialism in Muslim land, and also discussed the details that explain the decline of Muslim states. So here is the term geopolitics. What is geopolitics? It is an interest in or taking a land for its location or products. Just because its location is good, so you are interested in taking that land. This is called geopolitics. Then we have Crimean War. Crimean War was like a conflict in which the Ottoman Empire halted Russian expansion. They wanted to stop the Russian expansion near the Black Sea. Then we have Suez Canal. Suez Canal. It was a human-made waterway that connects the Red Sea and Mediterranean. Okay, then like always, I collected few questions for you that you must find their answers. But these are not the only questions. You have to see other as well, and especially at the end of each chapter you will find an assessment, so you have to attempt those assessments as well. So few questions like, when did the Ottoman Empire become weak? Why did Russia engage in the Crimean War and the Great Game? What measures did Muslim countries take to avoid imperialist domination? Why did the British hesitate to give Ireland independence? What problems did the movement westward bring? How did British rule affect India? What was Sepoy Mutiny? You should know in detail, like, when did women get the right to vote in Britain and the United States? Which Western powers grabbed land in Southeast Asia? And how did inventions change ways of life? And the most important part of our talk is the task for today. So this is here I put it for you, that I will study and I will win. This should be your motto. And I will study and I will win. Okay, and the task for today is to prepare the assessment of chapter 26 and 27. And you will find this on page 744 to 796. You will find every term, every topic, each and everything in your books. So let's not waste the time and open up your books and prepare this assessment till I come again with the next class. So see you, take care, bye bye.